Hey everybody, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We're going to be diving into something pretty fundamental today. Curiosity. When was the last time you had a question that just really made you stop and think? You know, one of those questions that kind of sticks with you even after the conversation's over.
It is funny how kids are just natural masters of that, always asking why, how, what. They just soak up everything around them. And then somewhere along the way, a lot of us, we kind of lose that.
Yeah, we trade in that wonder, for just thinking we know.
Yeah.
But I think there's something really powerful in leaning into not knowing.
You know what's really interesting? Research actually shows that when we're curious about something, we're primed to learn better. Not just about that one thing, but about unrelated information too. It's like curiosity unlocks something.
Okay, so let's talk about why asking good questions is so important.
Well, if you think about problem solving, when you're facing a challenge, asking things like, why is this happening? Or what if we tried this? Can lead to some really different thinking and totally new solutions.
Like that 5 whys idea, where you just keep asking why to figure the root of the problem. I've used that at work, and it's amazing how it helps break things down.
Exactly. And, that works for personal growth too. Feeling stuck, ask yourself what really excites me, or what am I avoiding? You might find yourself going down a path you'd never considered.
It's like curiosity is a compass,
Yeah.
guiding you. But let's get practical. How do we actually get more curious, especially if it feels like we've lost touch with it?
One of the most powerful things is to think like a beginner again, like how a kid approaches something brand new. They're not afraid to ask anything or try stuff without worrying about messing up.
I love that. Approaching things with that kind of wonder instead of thinking we already know it all.
Exactly. And that's how you start asking better questions too. Instead of just yes or no questions, go for open-ended ones. Those why, how, what if questions.
It's the difference between are you happy and what makes you happy.
Right.
One just gets you an answer. The other opens up a whole conversation. And you can have those conversations with yourself too, like journaling.
Oh, that's so true. Journaling can be like talking to yourself, but you can explore anything without judgment.
And speaking of exploring, one of the best ways to get more curious is to just look for different viewpoints. Books, documentaries, podcasts, whatever. Expose yourself to ideas that challenge what you think you know.
Because it's so easy to get stuck with people who all think like us. But when you step outside that and you engage with different perspectives, that's when things get interesting.
Like when you travel to a new place and experience a whole new culture, it just changes how you see things.
Yes. And those moments when you suddenly see things differently, those often come from being curious. That willingness to go outside your comfort zone, explore the unfamiliar, that's where the real growth happens.
And those growth moments, they don't always feel good.
Right, that's true. Curiosity can really push you, challenge what you believe, even make you face your own biases. It can be uncomfortable, but that discomfort, that's where real change comes from.
So how do we get better at being uncomfortable? I think sometimes we avoid asking questions because we don't want to look dumb or not know the right answer.
I know what you mean. I felt that way too. But what I've learned is that saying you don't know something, that actually shows strength. It means you're open to learning.
And when you're vulnerable like that, when you admit you don't have all the answers, that's when real connection happens. You're saying, I'm curious, help me understand.
Right. And that's what builds trust in any relationship, personal or professional.
So curiosity isn't just about facts and information. It's about understanding ourselves better, our relationships, the whole world around us.
It's about having that wonder, being open and willing to learn and grow.
It's interesting, to think about how this isn't just good for us personally, but for organizations too.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now when everything changes so fast, companies that are curious, those are the ones that do well. They adapt, they innovate, they can handle the ups and downs.
Makes sense. If everyone's too afraid to ask questions or rock the boat, you're going to miss out on some great ideas.
Totally. And there are actually frameworks out there to help companies build that kind of culture, where curiosity thrives. One that comes to mind uses these questions that get people really thinking and improving.
Oh, I'd love to hear more about that. How does that work?
So it's a bunch of questions, but they cover a lot of ground, like leadership, strategy, customers, even how employees grow. The point isn't to get specific answers, though. It's to get people talking and thinking critically.
So it's more like, helping them figure things out for themselves and how to do things differently.
Exactly. Questions like, what are we really good at? What are our biggest problems? How can we serve our customers better? Having open and honest conversations about those things. That's how you find blind spots, hidden potential, and new solutions.
It's like using curiosity as a tool to make real change happen.
Right. And one of the best things is that it builds a culture of always learning and getting better. It's not about finding one perfect answer. It's about always questioning, trying things out, and adapting.
Kind of like having a growth mindset, you know?
Yeah.
Believing you can always learn and evolve.
Exactly. And when a whole company has that mindset, employees feel like they can ask anything, share ideas, and try new things without being afraid to mess up.
Because, let's be real, failure is usually seen as a bad thing, especially at work. But this is more like seeing failure as a chance to learn.
That's so key. When you create that safe space to take risks and learn from mistakes, that's when real innovation happens.
It's shifting the focus from we messed up to, okay, what do we learn from this? And that applies to our personal lives too.
Absolutely. When we can embrace being uncomfortable, that's when we really grow.
But that's hard sometimes, isn't it? We shy away from those feelings, from not having all the answers.
I know. It takes courage to be curious, to step outside your comfort zone and question what you think you know. But the payoff is huge.
So what kind of payoff are we talking about?
Well, for one, you get to know yourself better. When you ask yourself tough questions and really examine your own thoughts, you figure out what motivates you, what you value, what you believe.
It's like really looking in the mirror and seeing who you are beyond what you show to others.
Right. And that self-awareness is how you grow. You make better choices, set boundaries, and live a life that feels true to you.
So curiosity isn't just about learning facts. It's also about exploring who we are on the inside and understanding what makes us tick.
That's it. And the more you understand yourself, the better you navigate relationships, make decisions, and create a life that really means something to you.
It's like curiosity is the key to unlocking your full potential, both personally and for companies.
You said it. And it all starts with being willing to ask, to embrace what you don't know, and to look at life as an adventure, full of wonder.
Speaking of adventure, I'm curious, how do you think we can encourage that sense of wonder in kids?
That's important. Kids are curious by nature, always exploring and asking why.
They see the world with fresh eyes, Everything is new and magical. But sometimes it feels like that fades away as they get older.
It's true, and it's a shame. Our education systems often focus on memorizing and testing instead of exploring and thinking critically.
It's like we're teaching them to find the right answer instead of teaching them how to ask the right questions.
And that can really hurt their love of learning and their ability to think for themselves.
So how do we change that? How do we help kids stay curious and keep that sense of wonder?
I think we need to make sure they feel safe to ask anything, to try things out, and to make mistakes without judgment.
It's about fostering that growth mindset again, knowing that you can always get smarter and more capable.
Exactly. And let them follow their interests, dive into whatever excites them, even if it's not part of the usual school stuff.
Celebrate what makes them unique and let them explore the world with curiosity and a sense of adventure.
Yes. When we do that, we're not just teaching them facts, we're helping them become lifelong learners who can think critically and solve problems. And those skills will help them no matter what they do in life.
And those are skills that will always be valuable.
It's not just about kids, though. Curiosity is important for our adult relationships, too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's how we connect and understand each other. When we're curious about someone, their thoughts, feelings, experiences, we build empathy and compassion.
It's about being open and wanting to learn about the other person.
Instead of assuming we know what they're thinking or feeling, we ask questions. We really listen, and we try to see things from their perspective.
Exactly. And that changes relationships. It builds intimacy, helps you work through disagreements, and creates a safe space to be vulnerable and really connect.
It's like saying, I see you, I hear you, and I want to understand what makes you you.
That's a great way to put it. And feeling seen and understood like that, that's powerful.
So curiosity isn't just about gaining knowledge. It's about understanding ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us. It's about exploring, growing, connecting. And that makes life so much richer.
You've got it. The smartest person isn't the one with all the answers. It's the one who's always asking the best questions.
While you were talking, I was thinking about how I used to be kind of afraid to ask questions at work. especially when I was just starting out.
Yeah, I get that. It can feel like everyone expects you to know everything already, but honestly, even people who've been doing this forever, they're still learning new stuff all the time.
That's true. It's almost like we think asking questions makes us look weak, but it's actually the opposite.
It really is. Asking questions shows that you're eager to learn, you want to understand things better, and you're always trying to improve. Those are good qualities in any job.
So instead of being scared to ask, we should see questions as chances to learn and grow, and maybe even come up with something new.
Exactly. And don't forget about asking questions to yourself, too. Think about what you've experienced, challenge your own beliefs, and look for new ways of seeing things.
I like that. It's like having a conversation with yourself, trying to make sense of the world and where you fit in.
And that back and forth, that's what keeps you curious, engaged, and always growing.
It's like that saying, the mind isn't a container to fill, it's a fire to light.
I love that. And curiosity is what starts that fire.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into curiosity, what's the one thing you really hope people take away from this?
I think the most important thing is to remember that curiosity is a choice. We make that choice every day. Are we going to be open and curious, or are we going to stay closed off and just accept things as they are?
It's about going out and finding new experiences, having real conversations, and being okay with not knowing everything.
Right. And that choice, that commitment to always learning and exploring, that's what makes life so much more interesting and meaningful.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And to our amazing listeners, we want to hear from you. What got you thinking during this deep dive? What questions are you still wondering about? Share your thoughts, your aha moments, and anything that sparks your own curiosity with us on social media using #TheDeepDive.
Remember, this journey of curiosity, we're all in it together. Keep asking, keep exploring, and keep that fire burning bright.
Stay curious, everyone. We'll see you next time.